What's up? It's your boy Carolina Calvin. Coming to you with my first NFL 2013 regular season review, and it's the Baltimore Ravens losing to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos scored 49, and Baltimore Ravens scored 27. The game it actually started out in Baltimore's favor. They were really moving the ball well down on the Denver defense. The Denver defense struggled to get any pressure on Joe Flacco. And he was having all day to throw. Jack Del Rio, who's defensive coordinator, drew up a lot of. He just started to draw up some blitzes so he can get to Joe Flacco. Still didn't do it quite well. Um, the half ended close. 17 to 14, Baltimore's favor. It should have been 21-14. Obviously, we know the drop by Dallas Clark, who hasn't been good in a while. The notable two notable losses, especially in this first half, was losing was losing in Baltimore, losing punt returner Jacoby Jones. Let's see, Dad. When did they lose him? Um, Let me check. Let me check. Okay, yeah. Losing Jacoby Jones in the first half uh, by his by his own teammate. It was the second quarter, and it was a punt, and he fair catched the punt, and his teammate was not even paying attention to where his teammate was. His teammate's name escapes me, but just know that he got hurt. He got hurt by his own teammate. I believe the guy was a rookie. Um, I think he had a sprained knee. Pretty much was out for the rest of the game. Also losing, I believe, a few minutes after that, losing Michael Orr. Um, and to me, that it won't get talked about, but that was a major turning point in the game because the Baltimore Ravens had to put in a rookie to protect Joe Flacco, and this is when Denver started to get some pressure. Sean Phillips, I believe, had 2 sacks on the game. It might be 1.5 to 2 sacks. Let me check that. Um, let's see. Sean Phillips had 2.5 sacks, and it was on the side where the rookie came in place of Michael Orr. Big loss for them. Of course, losing Jacoby Jones in return game and as the number 2 receiver. You know, at this point, those that was definitely those two injuries were definitely turning points for the game. The game really changed after that. Starting the second half, um, you know, Denver Denver got out fast on them. Um, let's see, quarter. Yeah, Denver got out fast on them. Um, Capped off with a 28-yard pass to Andre Caldwell from Peyton Manning. The game was at that point 21-17. Um, the next possession, Baltimore did not do anything. 4 and out, and also a blocked punt, which in 2 plays, led to a 5-yard Wes Welker touchdown. Score was 28-17. It's written, it started getting really bad for Baltimore. Baltimore next possession came out with another 4 and out, um, and a pretty bad punt by the punter. Well, 40, yeah, it wasn't too good of a punt. It wasn't what they needed. They needed to get the ball down the field, put some distance between the end zone. Yet again, Peyton Manning led the team down the field. Capped off with a 2-yard touchdown to Wes Welker. Like I said, Wes Welker had a pretty solid game. He had some fuck ups, but for the most part, he he played quite well. He started out well, and he got the 2 touchdowns. Um, After that 2 yard touchdown to Wes Welker, the score was Denver 35, Baltimore 17. And at this point, a lot of people feeling it was getting ugly. And yeah, for the most part, it was. Wasn't well. There weren't any more points scored after the 2 yard touchdown to Wes Welker. Both teams had three and outs, and of course to end the half. Let's see. I mean, to end the third quarter, uh, Baltimore did nothing as well. Um, Fourth quarter at the 14:46. Let me check. 13:19 mark. Um, Peyton Manning touchdown to Demaryius Thomas, 26 yards. Score was 42-17. Let's see. Okay, at the 10:32 mark, Joe Flacco passed to 13-yard touchdown to Brown. Score is 28. Hold on. They have it completely wrong. Let me check. Because I'm looking at this play-by-play and it looks effed up. Okay. Okay, I got it. It'll be in 24. Hold on. It was 24, 20, was it 24-42? Yeah. Of course, they got a field goal later. And probably one of the most bonehead plays of this game was definitely the kid's name escapes my mind. Let's see, what was his name? Let's see. And at this point, because of the kid, because of let me see, Trevathan. He had a pick. Easy. It would have been an easy touchdown. Put him up 40. I believe it was 49-17. Even 49-17. At that point during the game, it would have put him up 49-17. And he drops the ball, I believe, on like the 2 yard line before he gets in the end zone. I can't stand it. I've seen guys do that. Sean Jackson. Also, there was another, the punt returner. I mean, the special teams guy for Denver did that last year as well, but he didn't. He got off because it was so close. But this guy clearly did not get over the goal line. Plays like that, I just can't stand. Get the ball in the end zone, then celebrate afterwards. You're gonna celebrate. Um, this would have put them up 49-17, as I said, but it didn't. Baltimore came down. They scored 10 unanswered points after that. Got themselves back into the game. Of course, Peyton Manning, with a 70-yard pass to Demaryius Thomas. It was a nice bubble screen. That pretty much ended the game. I believe it was around the 5-minute mark. That pretty much put the game out of reach. Like I said, great statement by the Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning looked like he looked like he was in mid-season form. 7 touchdowns, 452 yards. Let's see, 152 yards, 27 of 42. Receiving, Demaryius Thomas, 5 receptions, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. Julius Thomas, the tight end, 5 receptions, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wes Welker, 9 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the other guy who got a touchdown was Andre Caldwell. He had 1 reception for 28 yards, 1 touchdown. The Denver running game, really struggled. I give my hats off to Baltimore. They played the running game really well, and the Denver Broncos didn't run the ball well last year. But Lodinata was a beast in the run game. He wasn't getting too much pressure on the quarterback, but in the run game, he was unmovable. Um, let's see. Denver had a combined six, they had 65 yards rushing on. Yeah, if you want to count Peyton Manning's rushing, 21. I mean, on 23 carries, they had 65 yards. Um, like I said, didn't run the ball well. I understand the reason for doing it. Is to keep the other team honest, so you won't have teams in their dime packages for the majority of the game. Um, the defense for Denver really stepped up, especially in that second half. They ended the game with 3 sacks, 2.5 by Sean Phillips. Like I said, Michael Orr getting injured, really helped Sean Phillips. He was going up against a rookie at that point, and he pretty much took advantage. Also the Denver run defense was amazing. Held them to 58 yards rushing on 21 attempts. Um, they for one, Baltimore just didn't look good in terms of front block. They did not look good at all. Um, Ray Rice looked pretty mediocre. He did have a touchdown, um, but that was on a turnover and a short field. Joe Flacco, 34-62, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns, two interceptions. Now, there were a lot of drops. I believe there were about 11 drops. I think it was 11 drops counted. So, his teammates didn't help him out. Tight end, a lot of drops from the tight end position. We're talking about between Dallas Clark and Ed Dixon. Those guys was dropping everything. They're really going to miss Dennis Pitta. Torrey Smith had some catches, but for the most part, you look at it, he had 4 receptions, 92 yards. A lot of these were, he had a long of 34 yards. He really didn't do much for the majority of the game. The receiving core they did not help out Joe Flacco that much. Tight ends didn't help Joe Flacco out. The running game, they only rushed 21 times. And you talk about in the past where the Baltimore Ravens would have ran it way at least 30 to 40 times, running 21 times. They have become pretty much a passing team. And I don't think they're gonna win. They can win that way, especially with some of the injuries. You lose Jacoby Jones, then they're gonna have to rely on the run game. The run blocking has to get better. Hats off to the Denver defense. Both defenses really stop each other's run game. Um, but for the Ravens, Joe Flacco did have the 2 picks, but the receivers dropping, I believe it was 11 passes, is not going to help him. The tight end is not going to help him. Defensively, in terms of getting after the quarterback, for the Ravens, they had three sacks on the game. Terrell Suggs had a sack. Chris Conte had a sack near the end of the game. Dumerville also had a sack. For the most part, they got some hits on Manning, but he was still able to pick them apart. Um, you know, the secondary, playing up there in Denver, man. By the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, you could just tell the Baltimore Ravens were gassed. Peyton started to go to a quicker. He started to snap the ball quicker. It seems like a lot of teams are going to be doing that, and it helps them a lot, especially playing in Denver, where it's a very difficult place to play. The guys needed some oxygen, and Peyton Manning saw that on the other side of the field that these guys were tired. He took advantage of it. Of course, he got 7 touchdowns. Um, that's pretty much my recap. Looking ahead, everyone saw this everyone saw this Denver team looking like this. I mean, with the weapons, this kid Julius Thomas, who had high expectations, pretty much answered them. Demaryius Thomas, we know, is a beast. Wes Welker, we know, is a beast. Eric Decker struggled, but if those other guys playing like that, you can afford for another guy to struggle. The guy had some weapons. The running game needs to improve a little more. They got some guys that can run. Hillman, Monte Ball, the rookie, and no Sean Marino. So they have some running backs. Um, they, you know, the running game has to improve. To keep the other team honest. They're going to be a throw first team. So I definitely expect to still see some good things out of Peyton Manning. And whoever started Peyton Manning on their fantasy team, you might as well count that as a win. You might as well count that as a win. Um, what really surprised me about the Denver team, aside from Peyton Manning getting 7 touchdowns, which was wow, did not expect that on day one, was the defense, especially in the second half. Um, like I said, they started to get pressure on the quarterback. Um, secondary play, Rogers, Cromartie, Chris Harris. These guys played pretty good. The linebackers were good in coverage. Like I said, they really did a good job against the run. Um, that this team is gonna when they get Champ Bailey and of course when they get Von Miller back. Um, as long as these other guys stay healthy, these guys are gonna have a great defense. The defense is gonna be really good. We'll have to see how things progress, how the defense is gonna look next week or the week after that. But from what I saw today, they really showed that they have a good defense, even without having Champ Bailey or Von Miller, two better defenders. Jack Del Rio did a great job with that defense last night. Um, Baltimore, offensively, these guys got to stop dropping. These guys can't drop passes like this. You probably won't have Jacoby Jones. Somebody else has to step up. Dallas Clark needs to. Him and Egg Dixon They need to help out their quarterback. Um, in my opinion, they need to run the ball more. Um, they need to run the ball more with Pierce and Ray Rice. 21 carries between the two of them. You got to run the ball a little more. Ray Rice still has a lot left. You got to run the ball. Defensively, young defense. It was only the first game. You're playing against a stacked offense with Peyton Manning as head quarterback. Of course, you're not going to stop him. I don't think anyone's going to better stop that Denver Broncos offense. So no need to overreact to the Baltimore Ravens. They got a young defense. I think they're going to get better. They have some guys out. Um, and like I said this in the preview that you putting in it's a young defense. You putting in new pieces. You got some guys coming back off injury. So Ladarius Webb. So and then you're going up against Peyton Manning in that offense. Of course, you're going to struggle. And as it looked, they did struggle very much. Um, and as I said, offensively, guys got to stop dropping passes. We'll have to see with Michael Orr. They're going to need him back because the kid that replaced him, Wagner, didn't look too good. Sean Phillips got 2.5 sacks on him. So we'll have to see. I still think the Baltimore Ravens are gonna. I still think they're gonna. They have a good chance of winning their division. The defense is gonna get better. The problem is the receiving core. Are these guys going to step up and catch the ball for them? We know Torrey Smith, is a big hitter for them, but they need some other guys. They need the tight ends, that they replaced Dennis Pitter with. They need those guys to step up. But if you watch the game, let me know what you think. What do you see these teams going forward? And I promise you, the next video won't be as long. I went on rambling too damn much. But hit that thumbs up button. Comment down below what you think. Subscribe.